Okay, this is a little tutorial help on the rectangle method for finding the area of a triangle. I hope that this proves to be helpful for you. I'm just going to walk through the different problems that are located on the page here. I'm going to spend the most time on number 2 and then a little bit more time on the other ones as well. When we look at problem number 1, so this is from 9-5, we see a triangle like so here, and bear with me as I do my best to draw these shapes, that is 4 units long, in this case 4 centimeters, and the height is 2 centimeters tall. Now in this case, using the rectangle method for finding the area, I'm going to go about by making this triangle into a rectangle. So the total length is 4 centimeters, or the base is 4 centimeters, and the height is 2 centimeters. Following this method, you would take these two triangles and divide them right down the middle, and you would be left with two separate, I'm going to use my highlighter here, two separate squares or two separate rectangles. Now it's kind of tricky on the screen here, but you'd be able to see then that this would be 2 centimeters long and this would be 2 centimeters long. So we'll kind of discredit the 4 centimeters here. So you have one box that is 2 by 2 and the other one that's 2 by 2. Now looking at this, we would use our equation for finding the area of a triangle, or finding the area of a triangle, a right triangle within a square rectangle. That's 1/2 times the base times height. And that equals your area of triangle. So looking at this first one here, I'd see my base is, oh, there we go, whoopsie. My base is 2, my height is 2 times 1/2. So 2 times 2 times 1/2 is 2. So I'd be able to say that this triangle here is 2 centimeters. And then the same thing would be true for the other side as well, 2 centimeters squared. So altogether, I have 4 centimeters squared. More realistically, what you would do is you would take this triangle and you'd cut off one part of it. Say this part I'd cut off, and I'd push that back in on the other side. I just rotate that. So I'm left with a square, which is 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters. So 2 times 2 is 4 centimeters squared. That's probably more realistically what you would do, but the other way is with the rectangle method. I just want you to have all the opportunities to try different methods to see what works best for you and to understand the conceptual part of this. Next up, we're going to look at problem number 2 using the same method. This will be the last one that I go all the way through. But if we turn this into a rectangle, like so, you can see that this is not a right triangle like the other ones were. So this is going to take a little bit more work. However, you can see that I have one large triangle here, and I'm going to go all the way, or one large rectangle that is divided right down the middle here. Now if I can figure out what half of it is, I should be able to figure out what the smaller part is. Remember, my goal is just to figure out this triangle, this space in here. But at first I'm going to find all of this, and then I'll take this part off at the end. Now I know that my length for this long piece is 6 centimeters, and my height is 3 centimeters. So to find the area of this whole space here, I'm going to multiply, using my formula, 6 times 3 times 1/2, which equals 9 centimeters squared. Now this extra part here, I don't need to know that, but there's good news. I can actually go, and I'm going to try to use a different color. We'll see if this works. I'm going to use some red. If I were to find this rectangle right here, I would be able to divide that in half to figure out this portion. Remember, the red portion I'm coloring in right now is the part we do not want. and I would be able to subtract the amount I find here from the total of this whole amount to just find what this remaining part is. So if I were to look at my paper here, I'd see that that's 2 centimeters long. So when looking at this portion here, or this rectangle, 2 by 3, I would find this calculation to be 1/2 times 2 times 3. Write that below. 2 times 3 times 1/2, which equals 3 centimeters squared. When I subtract those two things, I'm left with 6 centimeters squared, which is my final answer for finding the area of this triangle right here. So it's kind of a long way to solve that problem, but it is effective and it works. For the last 4 problems, you want to use the same concept as we talked about before of splicing part of the shape. Like number 3, we have a shape that looks something like this. This might be a little bit exaggerated. But cutting this edge off right here and bringing it over and adding it on. That way you'll be able to handle with just one simple rectangle, a rectangle that when it's complete will just look like this. That way you can just use your formula of area equals base times height to solve the problem. Remember, the formula for area, you'll see it many different ways, either base times height, length times width, really a combination of all those things. It's just like saying tomato or tomato, or as in class I shared with you, orange or orange. So it means the same thing, just written in a different way. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks.